Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, thumbs up for the videos, comments down below. Appreciate all of you. In the middle of the week, you sort of have the mix between still asking questions and figuring out what went wrong last week and who's to blame for it, versus how you look forward and win a game next week on the road against a non-NFC East opponent, something the Cowboys haven't done yet this year. In terms of who to blame, what went wrong last week, everybody seems to have found some cohesion. Jane Slater, of course, of the NFL Network, asked Jason Garrett about his management style. He was very open and reflective about meeting with Tavon Austin and acknowledging that maybe the way that he presented Tavon Austin and that punt return maybe wasn't the best approach. And look, I think the Tavon Austin punt return is just the icing on the cake of what was probably not the best decision-making from the team, not great execution from the team top down. Was the reason they lost? No. It certainly would have helped. But the reason they lost is probably that they were committed to running the football 7 times over the course of the final 2 drives of the game for 3 yards when they were passing at 14 yards per completion. But I digress. This week, with Connor Williams now out after having his knee scoped and Xavier Su'a-Filo moving in to start at left guard. Su'a-Filo has played sparingly this year. In fact, he only played a few snaps in that Week 1 win over the Giants when they were trying to get Zach Martin out of the game. This is a guy that came in last year, middle of the season, and stepped right in and started playing right away. This year, it's been a different story. So it's going to be interesting to see how much different this Cowboys offensive line will be this week with Su'a-Filo starting in the middle as opposed to Connor Williams, who's not had that bad of a season, but certainly didn't play well against the Minnesota Vikings. As the Cowboys move forward, there's going to be a lot of talk about they can still win the division, everything is still in front of them, and that's all well and true. But the essence of the future of this team this season is, will they continue to rely on a running game even when it's stale? Travis Frederick said today that down the stretch when they're running the football, they can't take into account the ineffectiveness of their inability to run the football throughout the course of the game. They have to take on an individual series and an individual play and see if they can win that play and win that series. I don't know that that's the best approach, because the Vikings were straight dominating them on the ground. And certainly from Travis's point of view, he's going to do what he's being told to execute. So it comes down to the coaching staff. And we are waiting for Jason Garrett to be something that he's seemingly never been, which is a guy that is willing to evolve, because he's a guy that is about process, that is about sticking to what you know and what you do and being comfortable in doing that. And that comfort level is in being a downhill power running football team. You could sit there and say, well, they passed enough, they threw for almost 400 yards, and they do have to run the ball at some points. Not in that game, not in that moment, not at that time. To say that your identity is as a power running football team, and so therefore you've got to do it in those moments, that's what's going to trip up this football team this season. Can Jason Garrett be something that he hasn't been the last decade as the coach of the Cowboys? And that is a guy that's willing to forego that long tenured identity of being a power running football team for the sake and the betterment of this team this season. They've got a franchise quarterback in the middle of his best season. And their success, whether it be against Jeff Driscoll or Matt Stafford of the Detroit Lions this week, the Patriots next week, the Bills after that, or whatever, their success this season depends on their ability to understand that they don't have to be a ground and pound football team. In fact, they shouldn't be if they want to get back to where they haven't been in over 2 decades. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, thumbs up for the videos, comments down below. Appreciate all of you. Love you all.